Woohoo!
Hey, on the count of 3, we're all going to sing happy birthday to Amber. 1, 2, 3. Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy
birthday, dear Amber. Happy birthday to you.
That was the best happy birthday
Thank you,
song
guys.
I've ever heard. That was amazing. Awesome.
Amazing.
Gratitude. My gratitude is for our birthday girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do for us. I really, really mean that. And for me, keeping your crazy team leader in the lines. And let's see if I can walk in front of the camera here. So thank you, Amber. You're right in the center of it right now. All right, who's got the other one? Let's go. Attitude for gratitude. I think Renee, do we got you? All right, attitude for gratitude. 2 more. Who wants to take it away? Debbie Connor.
So, as of today, I have known Amber Sampson, for 35 years. She was born 35 years ago today. So happy birthday, Amber. We love you. I've known her entire
Thank you, Debbie.
I'm going to wipe the one tear away.
Change your diaper.
Hey, there we go. Was she a neighbor?
No. Her dad and my ex-husband are cousins, so I have known her entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, gang, one more.
I'm grateful. I'll tell you, I'm grateful. My wife's had an out-of-town business trip, and so it's been really quiet, especially with COVID stuff around my house. So I'm glad she's coming home tomorrow night.
Hey, right on. Glenda's on her way back. Love it. Thank you, Doug. All right, let's get going. Gosh, I've been watching. We got some listings. We have some incredible awards going on here. This day today here.
Is Rhonda on?
Is Rhonda on?
Rhonda, are you on today?
I don't see her yet.
No.
All right, so let's rock and roll. Let's start with listings. Who has a listing they'd like to talk about? William Kretzer, go for it, buddy. William, take it away.
Got a couple. Live. It is Townhome. $260 is the price in Aurora, Quail Run, great community.
So William, we caught about 10% of that. So let's try that one again, or cycle back once you've stopped. You might be going through a dead zone.
Even his video's frozen.
Yeah.
All right, while William's getting reset here, let's go ahead. Who has got another upcoming listing?
Okay, I've got one. We've got a little condo, 2-bed, 1-bath, 900 square feet, just off Evans and Holly. So nice little spot in downtown, actually real close to where I live. Price is $152. It doesn't really need a lot. It needs to be updated. There's other units in that complex that have granite counters and all that good stuff that are more. So we're actually the cheapest in the complex, and yeah, it's been on for a week and a half, and we're ready to sell it.
Awesome, Jim. So you are the best deal in the complex, is what I was hearing.
Best deal in the complex.
Love it. Awesome.
Hey, Jim, what's the HOAs in there?
430, I think. It's a little high, but I've seen that number kind of around town, so not crazy high based on other areas.
Awesome. William Kretzer, do we got you still?
Blacked out.
Yeah, we had him. All right, while William's getting reset here. There he is. I see William. William, you got 2 upcoming listings. What are the details on those
You
guys?
see me, but can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Two bed,
No, not catching it, William. Go ahead.
bath, newly remodeled townhome, Aurora, close to the Air Force Base, 260.
Great price. Great price. Awesome. Did you have another one you wanted to share as well?
He's muted.
All right. Well, let's keep on going here. Upcoming listings. So go ahead and put those in the chat too. So do we have other upcoming listings? We're going to have a busy day today, ladies and gentlemen. We got some fun stuff going on. Any other upcoming listings? Nope. All right. Price improvements. Where's Danielle? Price improvements. There we go.
No, I don't. I just heard you
Nope.
say my name. I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Any other price improvements? Yeah, Dwayne.
So I have one. I think we're going to be reducing down in Littleton. It's on Hoyt, 8496 Hoyt. It's the best condo complex out there off of Remington. So Kipling and 470. Right now we're listed at 293, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 1,200 square feet, second floor, covered parking also, and we'll probably go down to 285. It's all got all brand new paint, brand new carpet, appliances, the whole big deal. So it's my buyers are under contract on another property, so it'd be great to get this one under contract.
Awesome. Awesome. We'd love to help you with that. Fantastic, Dwayne. Thank you.
Thank
Other
you.
price improvements. All right. How about buyer needs? Buyer needs, buyer needs.
Hi, this is Cheryl Rock. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. So I have a buyer that's looking up to 450, kind of west Denver. So anything north of, or I'm sorry, west of 25, like from Alameda up to maybe a little bit past, well, basically Alameda North. And we're having a hard time finding anything that's kind of move-in ready, and it needs to be a single family home. So if anybody has anything coming up, we've lost out on 2 properties. We went up against, I think there were 16 that were, that had placed offers on one and 3 on another, but they can't go over that 450 mark.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So heavily motivated buyers, 450 is the cap.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. Do we have any other buyer needs? Buyer needs.
I've got Patrick.
Yeah.
I still have, we lost out on a deal, but in the west side of town, over here, they'd love the southwest side of town, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull it off or not. But single family house, 375. They're all ready to go, approved, eager. Nothing to sell. Lakewood, I might have to talk them into Lakewood as an opportunity up there as well. Anything 3 bedrooms plus. Got a buyer looking for something in Aurora, 6 bedrooms. She needs a kind of a larger size house. And I've also got somebody in this southwest quadrant who needs a ranch model, probably up to 550, 600,000. That's been updated. They don't have to do any work.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you, Doug. All right. With that, we're going to keep on going. So if you have any additional listings, buyer needs, price improvements, who do we got? Renee?
No, Wendy.
Wendy.
Hi, Patrick. Hey,
Hi,
I have
Wendy.
I need something in Parker for under 500.
Awesome. In Parker, under 500?
Yes,
Okay, awesome. And then bedroom, bathroom?
3+ for
Okay.
beds. And then I also have a 1.5 in Greenwood Village, close to Aspen Academy, if possible, or in Homestead. and they're looking for a 4-bedroom and up.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great job, Wendy. That's fantastic. All right, Jackie. I think you're on mute, possibly, Jackie.
Can't hear you. Nope.
No,
What did
can't-
it do that?
There you. So let's go ahead and for any buyer needs or price improvements, listings, all that good stuff, please put it in the chat on the side there, and then that way we can all see it because it sounds like reception's going in and out a little bit today. So we are at 11:30. We are going to have Mike Pannone come on to the call, and the reason Mike's going to be coming on here is because he's averaging in command right now. He's averaging between 40 and 60 cents a lead with a low of 30 cents. With a low of 30 cents a lead. Let that one kind of sink in a little bit here. This is the lowest I have even heard of this. So what better way than to bring him on the call and explain how he's doing this. So 11:30, we'll have Mike jump on and we'll have a conversation and you all will have an opportunity to ask questions. So in between now and then, we're gonna have some fun. So we have some incredible, Deb, jump on up here with me. We have capping agents, we have awards going on. We knocked the pants off the market here last month. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Holy mama. So, which was the reason why we had that song starting, right? You can't stop us. All right, so capping agents, why don't, I'll just hand them to you and then you read them off.
Oh, Eric Denning, enjoy 100% of your commission. Welcome to the Freeloader Club.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's give Eric 2 claps. Great job. All right, here's another one for you, Deb. Look at
Oh,
this.
Matt Gower, he was just in the other day. He's also in the Freeloader Club. Congratulations on capping Matt Gower.
Hey, we got 3 more in the club. Check this
Whoa.
out.
Oh, here's Robin and Dale Maurer. Freeloaders, freeloaders, freeloaders. We love freeloaders. Congratulations on capping.
Great job. Here's another one for you. We're not done.
Oh, holy smoke. Steve Nickerson, another freeloader. We love freeloaders. Come on, guys, let's keep going.
Here's a hint with this one. This family had twins this year.
Woo! Oh, Josh Saxton. Well, he's going to need that money with brand new twin baby girls. And he doesn't even know how much he's going to need this.
I don't even know.
Right? Congratulations, Josh Saxton, on joining the Freeloader Club.
Awesome. Great job. Great job. I want to share something with you before we jump into individuals and teams. So as a review of the first half of 2020, this is pretty awesome. So our office here closed 295 homes. We listed 168 homes, and we wrote 336 offers the first 6 months of this year. And we earned in gross commission income $3,496,665.
Nice.
During a pandemic. Huh, interesting,
But
right?
nobody was working.
No one was working.
Nobody was
We just shut everything down.
No, nobody listed, nobody bought.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, you all created your own market. And get ready for June's numbers, because that's even more amazing. So before I go on to that, though, because I've had a little bit of caffeine, surprise, we set 11 records. Ladies and gentlemen, you set 11 records in the first 6 months of this year. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. In a world where other offices are closing, we're setting records. This is amazing to me.
That beats our record setting of records. I think the most
Could you say
records
that again?
we broke the record setting of records. I think highest before was 9.
9. Oh yeah, we're not done. Okay, so that was all different various production categories. Now, I'm gonna let you read this one. I'm gonna drum roll it because this is awesome. So, in the month of June.
Oh my gosh, well, thanks for the bigger tank. So June says closed 64 homes, second best June ever, a 12% increase over last June. What was happening 90 days ago?
Uh-huh.
COVID closed down, everything closed down, and yeah, look what happened. Sold 25 listings, second best June ever, a 9% increase over last June, when the world was quote unquote normal. Wrote 90 offers, second best June ever by 2 offers, a 23% increase over last June. Who said you guys weren't working? Earned 695,561,000 in gross commission income, second best June ever, a 12% increase in pay for you guys, best June ever, right? Set 3 records over the month of June in closed sales volume, listings taken volume, and contracts written volume. Guess what happens after all that? Closed, right? That means your gross commission income also will start to set records and beat other months.
I hear money in the bank is what I hear.
Right?
Money in the bank. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Seriously, that is amazing. So let's dive into individual awards and team awards. And then I want to ask you, well, what are you doing? What are you hearing, right, for the next couple minutes before we hit 11:30? Because your results are showing up. And they're showing up in a massive, massive way. You're creating your own market, which we're in a market shift, ladies and gentlemen. For those who say that we're not, let's have a conversation, because we are. And you are creating your own market that insulates against any market shift that's out there. So great job, great job.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's start with individuals, and then we'll go into teams. So, boom, boom, boom. Debbie Connor, I'm going to hand these to you because this is just fun having you in here now. I got an audience.
There's 2 of us. Oh, the number 3 individual for June is Kathy Lou. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Great job, Kathy. Here's another one.
And what was she at? Oh, I can tell you what she was at. So you got a target, right? When you start hitting the top, you got a target on your back. So she closed $1,112,484 in sales volume for 2 units.
Great job, Kathy.
Nice price points. Number 2 individual. The reason he dials in every time I know you, Mr. Brown, really well. Dwayne Brown, number 2, closed volume 1,726,900 in sales volume with 5 closed units. Way to go. That is a 5. Yep, that's a 5.
Great job, Dwayne. Woo! Awesome. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Is a different one this time.
Oh, nice. Oh, the number 1 individual in the month of June is Matt Gower. Awesome job, Matt. He closed 3 units for a total volume of 2,200,000 on the nose. That's awesome.
Exactly that.
On the nose.
Awesome. Great job, Matt. Awesome, awesome job. All right, let's jump into teams. So, dun, dun, dun. Boom.
Number 3, team, 3rd team. Oh, this is cool. Duncan Home team. Tracy and Shannon. Awesome. Way to go. Close, excuse me, 2 units for a total of $1,021,000 in sales volume. Awesome job, guys.
Great job. Great job. Here's another one.
Number 2 team, Mile High Home Sales for 4 closed units, $1,584,000. Way to go. Way to go, Mile High Home Sales.
Awesome. And dun, 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 number 1 team.
Oh, look at it. Who do you think it is? This is where you participate. Wake up. Who is it?
Priced right.
No,
not this time.
Who else? Well, let me tell you then. All right, number 1 team for the month of June is One Home Colorado. Steve Nickerson's team closed $2,680,570 in sales volume for 4 units. So awesome job.
Hey, you know what's fun about this? There's a little bit of a correlation going on.
Yeah.
The number 1 single agent and the number 1 team, the team lead, right? Both of them capped this last month. Do you think that that ties together?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Interesting, right? All right.
Freeloader Club.
Freeloader Club. All right, here's our heavy hitter award.
Oh, where's the bat? All right, Oh, this is awesome. These guys are getting they're going to be able to open up their own blow-up back store pretty soon. Heavy Hitter Club. So the ones that took the most listings in a month. Aravello Home Partnership Team. Congratulations. 5 new listings for a volume of $2,219,992 to be exact.
Awesome job. You know what's interesting about that? Every week I see Andrew and the team in here doing trainings.
Yep.
And using the small room over here and just really diving in and really pouring into his people. And look what's happening.
Script and role play practice. They do
Yeah.
this every day.
Wow. Huh. Do you think that has to do with something?
Nah.
Nah. It's probably a fluke, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's take a couple minutes here. We got 9 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you seeing in the market? What is going on out there? Talk to me. Talk to us.
You gotta take yourself off mute. Don't everybody talk at once.
Do that Jeopardy music again. All right, what you seeing? What you feeling?
I'll unmute all of you and make all of you talk.
Yeah. Or we could hear all of them.
Dwayne Brown, what are you seeing out there, buddy?
I just see, I don't know, it's hit and miss in different areas. Like I've got a condo like that condo down on Kipling and 470. 3 months ago that sucker would be gone in like 6 hours. So and all of a sudden more properties have appeared in those two complexes that I really like to sell. So it's slow there, but it's funny how in different areas you've got multiple offers coming in. So it's hard to say right now. I mean, I still think it's a great seller's market, and there's people out there. I think they're not as scared anymore to go look at houses. But we're going to be in I think the next 2 months, kind of a weird situation as to what's gonna. I think it's still going to be strong. We'll finish off strong for the year, but we're just going to have the people that are sitting on the fence stay sitting on the fence for a little bit. But I think they'll jump if they see the right house that comes up. So
okay.
and still expect multiple offers on good listings.
Awesome. Also, pricing, right? Pricing becomes critical.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
Absolutely. And condition, right?
True. Oh yeah, definite.
Kristen Connor, what are you seeing out there? Kristen Connor.
Where'd she go?
Do we have a Kristen?
Well, I'll jump in if she's.
Hey, there we go, Jim.
So to follow that thought, yeah, the statistics were way down by 5,000 units in inventory from a year ago, but sales are way up. So it feels like there's this real crunch, but yet you see these little spots. Well, I've got this condo that's just kind of sitting. We've had very little interest on it, and it's $152,000. It's real low in terms of pricing. So you would think, man, that would have been gone, in about the first 20 minutes, and it's just sitting. So yeah, it's really mixed right now. I don't know if it's part of that summer lull that's kind of coming in, but with the inventory so low, you would think it just wouldn't matter at all. So it's a little mixed.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Seamus, what are you seeing on the expansion side?
Same thing like everyone else is saying, kind of different areas. We're seeing stuff say that the condition isn't all that great. We've got a couple agents in other states that have properties just sitting for 60 days at 300,000. And then you go to a neighboring area, and we've got one guy who he put 7 listings on in the last week, and he is recruiting 8 agents by the end of this month. And a lot of it right now is inbound. It's stuff that he's been working on since COVID started. And now he's getting the return call saying, okay, enough's enough. Let's sell the house. So that's the responses we're starting to see nationwide for the team.
Okay. So playing in those emotions, it sounds like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gotcha.
people finally getting off the fence. Like everyone was saying, getting off the fence. Finally, it's time to go. And with schools hopefully starting up soon, it's putting the pressure back on people.
Awesome. Danielle Thompson, what are you seeing out there? Your business has really picked up recently. Congratulations.
Thank you. I weirdly have seen people moving from out of state because of COVID. People from California, I've had 2 reach out to me moving here because it's so bad out there and they're worried about schools not reopening. Not that it won't happen here, but I was just surprised that that move is happening. And I've had several people reach out for that reason.
That's a fantastic tip. So this could be a great, great opportunity to reach out to our KW friends and our realtor friends that are outside of Denver, right? Find out what's going on in those other markets, just like Danielle was saying, just like Seamus was saying. Because now more than ever, all realtors are lining up, we're locking arms together, right? And here's the amazing thing about it. How much does it cost you to call a friend in a different state and ask, how's the market? How much does that cost you? Zero. So in a world where we're cutting expenses by 20% at a minimum, right? And know the difference between an expense and an investment, right? So in a world where we're cutting down our expenses, are we leveraging through relationships? Pays off. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's keep going here because I think this is great. Jody Walco, what are you seeing out there? Yeah.
Hello. So I just had 2 different listings that and let me back up. I typically will run for every 10 showings, get an offer. That's how I coach my people. If we've got 10 people in the door and no offer, we're not, at the right price. We might wait one more weekend, but 2 showings back to back, over 40 showings in one weekend, didn't get an offer. And then on a Tuesday or Wednesday, ended up getting a full price offer. And I just feel like people, it's like a blessing and a curse of we learned how to kind of slow down, not have these knee-jerk reactions, enjoy life, enjoy family. That doesn't work very well in real estate. And so I just feel like everybody's kind of moving at a slower pace, and to advise our clients of that, because they are accustomed to, just like we are, if it's priced right, if it's clean, staged, and ready to go, it should move. And again, it wasn't a price issue because they ended up going under contract at full price. So that, and then the other thing, and totally on a separate note and not, I have 3 clients, 1 that just closed and 2 totally reached out of the blue, did not have them in my sphere, people from a decade ago. 1 is from high school. 2 very introverted, and all that to say, just continue social media, being real, putting that out there, what you do on occasion. I'm not a big broadcasting billboard type agent. I just more keep it about life, and that's attractive to people, and it's humbling. And then also it's like some of these people, like I totally forgot they even existed. I didn't even know I was friends with them on Facebook, and they're watching. So yeah. I guess mind your P's and Q's and put out there what we need to. So that's, I guess, 2 different ends of it.
Absolutely. I love that. Love that. Love that. Thank you, Jody, for sharing that. And that's a perfect segue for me to introduce my good friend, Mike Pannone. I see Mike's on there right now. Mike, say hello to everyone, and we'll rock and roll here, my friend.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
So, Mike, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know, you started as a single agent. You're up in Anchorage, Alaska as a single agent. Then now you've built this into a husband-wife team. You're growing. And what's amazing is how you've been able to leverage through technology. So can you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah. So, and by the way, give me a heads up if my microphone's really loud. I've been hearing that lately from my team. So, okay. So initially, I started off with it was the largest team here in Alaska, and did 2 years with them. And so about December of last year, they left the brokerage and I chose to stay at Keller Williams. And so that kind of left me in this lurch, right? Where I had to kind of decide what systems was I going to use, how was I going to bring in leads, all these things. And I had honestly been telling my wife for years that if I ever could get a job in technology or in a tech company, that I'd leave real estate in a heartbeat. Well, lo and behold, I leave that team, and my wife shows me a video of Gary saying that we're now a tech company, and I was like, well, I guess I got to stay here, right? And so I really just dove into Command and learned about it and learned about what kind of things I could use. And the big aha for me was having a conversation with I want to say it was Jay Cermak I was talking to, and he's like, here's the thing, Command doesn't work for every single little thing, but pieces of it work better than anywhere else. And so if you can focus on what pieces work better than everywhere else, then you should be good. And as it's matured, Command has gotten better and better and better and better to the point right now I don't use anything else. And so the way that I've gone from just myself to now my wife, and we're bringing on another agent in August, and we've got a new admin coming in August as well. It really has just been going really, really heavy on Facebook. From my time with the team that I was a part of, I was aware that we were paying, depending on the lead source, anywhere between $15 to $25 a lead, And so when I started seeing people like Nick Baldwin and at the time it was Jay was doing a lot of the early adopters like myself. When I started seeing them do Facebook ads and they were pulling in, leads at $4 a lead, I was like, man, that's amazing, right? And thinking this is just crazy numbers. And so I just got into it and started doing A/B testing. If you know the scientific method, if you remember that from school, that was my thought, was if I do this, hopefully it'll do this. And if it didn't, I said, all right, well, what do I need to change? And so I did that. And my most recent 2 campaigns have gone for, I believe it was 80 cents and $1 a lead, and those were not performing well.
Now, we had talked also, and that was over the holiday weekend, right? That we were talking about. Okay. Yeah. So prior to the holiday weekend, and what were you averaging on a cost per lead? I mean, we've talked about $15, $20, $4.
So I had gotten to a point really, and I'll be completely transparent. These numbers started around the time that COVID hit. So like late February, ever since then, I've been doing about 30 to 45 cents a lead. I've had a couple that got up to 60, and I've been getting these crazy numbers from my ads. I mean, I ran one for $27, I believe, that brought me in 91 leads, Wow. 91 leads. Yeah, and really the thought process is, I mean, I know that the next question is going to be about conversion, right? And my thought with that is I'm converting them at a higher level than I ever did my Zillow leads and all that kind of stuff. Where I was at Zillow, I would say probably 1 or 2%. I'm looking at like 5 to 7% with my Facebook leads, but I'm also paying a much lower number. And so for them to compare, it's not even close.
So Mike, how are you doing this? Like, I mean, these are amazing numbers. The lowest that I had heard was just inside of $1, and that was like 97 cents. So like when we're talking 35, 40 cents, 91 leads for $27, how are you doing this? How are you getting it down so far?
So, like I said, I use that scientific method. I say, what is it that I did that worked? What is it that I did that didn't work? And I changed what didn't work. And so I saw a post from a guy, his name's Josh Bickle, and I strongly recommend looking up his posts in the Commander Conversion page. But I saw a post from him where he had essentially said, you know what, I'm just going to put all the measurable information out front and see how that works. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to give that a shot too. I like Josh. I'm going to see what he can do, and it's cheap enough that I'm okay with saying I'll throw $25 at this. And if I only get 10 leads, that's still an amazing return, right? And so what I did is I threw a $25 lead out, or $25 ad out, and I put in the headline section the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, garage count, and the price. And then I left the interest section of my campaign entirely empty, because here's my thought. I would rather put that number out front and only have people respond who know how much that property is than have to sift through, if I'm selling a $400,000 house, sift through a bunch of $200,000 qualifications. Don't get me wrong, I love my $200,000 qualifications. But if I'm trying to sell that house and if I'm working for that client, my goal should be to bring in people for that property, you know? And I found it depends I don't know about you guys down there, but Patrick, you can attest to this. A ranch home in the Matanuska Valley is like pure gold out here. And so I started calling, if I didn't have one, I called other agents who did, and I started running ads based on those. And so with that initial change where I added the measurables in the headline section, right, that brought me down to, I'd say 75 cents or so a lead. And then when I dropped it down to the most desirable kind of home in the area that I live in, that brought it down to the lowest one, I think was like 32 cents a lead.
Wow. Okay. You gave a couple of massive tips right there. One was having the header, a strong header, but nothing in the body, correct?
No. So there's 3 windows. Okay. When you're creating a Facebook campaign, there's 3 windows. There's your main copy, right? Then there's your headline window, and then there's another one that's called description. My description almost always just says, find out more here, and then it has 3 arrow emojis, and that's it. The headline is where I put those measurables, and that only shows up in about 30 to 40% of the different ways that you can view these campaigns, but it shows up in enough that it seems to make a difference. And then the main body is where you're going to put, don't miss this, or whatever realtorese it is that you want to put up. Little tip for that, since I mentioned the body, when I went to Mega Camp last year, I got the benefit of getting to go to Facebook and sit and talk to their marketing gurus. They give us 250 characters, and this is really basic, but don't go above 200. The goal should be, when you're looking at that little window on the right-hand side, you don't want to see the little see more button. And that as long as you stay under that see more section, you should be solid.
Awesome. Another tip that you had talked about, Mike, was that you had contacted other agents about promoting their listings. Tell me more about that.
Well, so and this is going to be on a state-by-state basis. So keep that in mind. You guys will know your legal rules there. Essentially, when you sign with, when you say I sign a listing, they're also signing with my broker. And so realistically, they're signing an agreement that says that my broker is allowed to market their house. That includes everybody in our brokerage. And so I reach out, obviously I only reach out to other Keller Williams agents because they're the only ones that have that agreement that I'm technically on, right? I call them. Most of the time they'll say, yeah, go ahead, man, just throw free money at my listing. I'm totally good with that. A lot of the time they'll want to see what you're going to write, because, they're representing the person. They want to make sure it's being represented properly. So usually what I'll do is I'll call them and I'll say, hey, Patrick, this is Mike. You got a great house. I'd love to put some money behind it and see if I can't get you a buyer. You'll say whatever it is that you say, and I'll say, fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll write it up. I'll shoot you a screenshot of it. And once you send it the thumbs up, I'll put money behind it. You good at that? And I've yet to have anybody say no.
That's awesome. The third thing that you talked about was that, as another tip, was that you had figured out what was the most highly desired home and layout, which I thought was amazing, layout of the home in your area. And then that's what ended up driving that cost per lead down even more. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. So here we have zoning rules that make it really hard to get a ranch style home where I live, because you have to have a certain amount of square footage per acre, and it's just a whole mess. And so getting a ranch home is very difficult. And so when they come available, the key was listening to my buyers and listening to other buyers' agents. Because when you start to compile this massive list of, 20 agents where they're like, God, I cannot find a ranch. God, I cannot find a ranch. And they just cannot find a ranch. Well, that's the one you want to market then, right? Because if you can't find one, that means it's getting sold fast, right? For instance, the one that ran over the weekend that I was telling you about that didn't perform great, it's for a condo. It's for a higher price condo. And those don't really move that quickly. And so I expected it to not perform the same way that a ranch or one of the nicer homes would go for, and that's all on knowing your market, is know what moves. And then once you know that, then you know what you can market.
Awesome. Love that. Great tips there. So what else is in store for you here in 2020? Let's just start there. And then, what are some of your plans on your team as you're obviously leveraging through the technology at a massively high level, which is then creating other income opportunities for you, isn't it? Because you're not spending it over here. So if you're not spending it here, what are some other things that you guys have going on?
Oh man, so let's see. So we've got right now the big focus is our new agent that's coming on. It's the first time I've gotten to bring on a new agent, so I'm working my way through that to make sure that she's successful. And one of the big things for as I look at this, I mean, we've spent about $600 since August, I think, on Facebook ads. And we've, using the numbers that I've given you, you can tell we've got about 1,200 contacts that we got to work through, and so we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing, but now we're going to try to take that number and we're going to move it up. So instead of 600, we'll spend, 1,000 over the next year. And that's a great thing. I'm talking about 1,000 for an annual fee, right? To spend on this advertising, and I'm bringing in ridiculous amounts of leads. On top of that, we're trying to put in systems in place to where nobody on my team should ever make a cold call. And the reason that I say it like that is we've got smart plans available. Everybody here has heard the magical term smart plan, right? Well, if you're using those, you should never make another cold call in your entire career, unless it's you find a piece of paper at the post office and you call a guy and they're like, yeah, I was totally looking to buy a house. That's one thing, but you shouldn't make another cold call in the rest of your career if you're using smart plans. And so right now, on top of getting this new agent set up, we're focusing on, I'm consulting with other big tech people out in the KW world to try to find out, okay, what smart plans do you have? So right now I'm running Nick Baldwin's Facebook lead smart plan, and I'm trying to build my smart plan situation up so that whenever I call somebody, they've heard from me 3 or 4 times before I even call them, and that makes it really great in the summer. I don't know about you guys, but for me, we get a 3.5 month long summer, and so I got to fit as much stuff in it as I can,
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and that ties in too. I mean, you're in Anchorage, we're in Denver. When you start looking at the cost per lead, when you start looking at being able to leverage through command at a very high level, is that an anomaly where you're at, or is that something that we can plug into down here in Denver?
So what I'll say is this. At Family Reunion, Gary said that as a company, we are averaging just under $2 a lead. That takes into account, let's use ballpark figures, say 10% of us don't know what we're doing. Fair? That takes into account at least 10% of people that are averaging $17 a lead, right? Realistically, I think that everybody should be able to get like $1.50, $1.25 a lead. I'll say I'm getting the lowest numbers that I've seen from our market center. That doesn't mean that for an average, like I've seen people get down to 25 cents. I've seen people, I think the lowest one I saw was an 18 cents a lead for an ad. But that's the anomaly. I think that if you stick to the same game plan and things like that, you should be good to go. Hang on just a second. I got a 5-year-old here. I'm going to call. You got to go, baby. Good morning. Sorry, I'm still working from home. She just woke up. So hang on. It looks like there's a couple of questions in chat. So give me just a second. I want to address those real quick because I'm always the guy in chat who never gets addressed.
No, absolutely.
Right.
I think that's a key piece here.
Yeah. So let's see. Patrick, Josh who? So his name's Josh Bickle. It's Bickle. Let me go to everyone real quick. I'll just type that in the box. This guy's gonna be getting so many. He's gonna be getting so many private messages because I keep saying his name on calls. And let's see. So Dwayne, yeah, Dwayne. By all means, you can shoot. You can. I'll give you my my phone number. William, what category am I using? So are you talking about, William? Just kind of give me the little addition. Are you talking about? Am I using like attract buyers or advertise listings? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the time I'm doing attract buyers, but here's what I'll say. A lot of people are unaware of this, but that screen doesn't actually do anything as far as your ad placement goes. I've run this through, before I say this, I want to say I've run this through a number of the regional tech trainers, and I've talked to a couple of the developers. All that does is it allows KW to look at the ads that have run and say, all right, we've got 75% of our most successful ads are being run as attract buyers or advertised listing or talent or however you want it. That entire page is a metric for KWRI to look at. So don't stress too much about that. Just put whatever it is you're trying to do. So, all right. So Patrick, that looks like it's all the questions I had in the box. So do you have more that you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's open this up for live questions now. So for those who have a question around command, have a question around leads, how Mike is doing this at such a high level, what are some of the questions that you have?
So I've got another question. So with your targeting, I know they have interests and things like that. And do you just, how do you specify that targeting as far as like, you target people looking at Zillow? Do you target people looking or have interest in mechanics? Those kind of things. What are your interests? Do you have a set interest list you just reuse, or different types for the different listings? And what is that list look like?
So here's what I'll say. I used to use an interest list. I no longer use an interest list. I know that sounds crazy and wild, wild west or whatever. I don't use one. And here's my thought process behind it. I'm gonna lean on a great set of pictures for the property and giving them the information up front and my website on the backside of it. Here's the thing. If I'm scrolling through my Facebook and something pops up that I'm not remotely interested in, I'm not gonna click on it, right? And so if they click on it, I know they've got at least a tiny bit of an interest, even if that interest is they just want to look at the kitchen to figure out how they're going to remodel theirs. That gives me the in of, okay, well, why are you remodeling? Are you planning on selling soon, right? And so I know that they've got at least that little tiny bit of interest, and so I don't use targeting. I know that a lot of people will talk about using Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia, and then whatever other competitors you guys have down there. We just got Trulia, so but whatever competitors it is that you have down there, you can use those as targeters. The whole thought process with that is that you're just trying to go where your clients are, right? They're not you don't target the person, you target the location that they're at. And if they're all at Zillow, then yeah, target there. You're gonna see when you use those targeting, you're gonna see the same quality lead but for more money.
That makes sense.
I didn't see my conversion go up or down at all once I stopped using the interest.
Gotcha. Well, then with that in mind, you say you rely on your photos. Then are you doing like the carousel style? Or are you just doing one photo per ad, or how many are you using?
I never do less than 2. I usually do 5 or 6.
Never less than 2, 5 or 6.
Yeah, it really depends on it really depends on the listing. I mean, if it's got, if it's got enough features that I want to put out there, then I will, but I'll always make sure I've got at least an exterior, as long as it's not, a dump, and I'll always have the kitchen in there. So the way that the big thing that you guys have to remember, the way that Facebook works this, and the way that their algorithm is they're going to reward your daily spend, not your overall. If you run $100 ad over 100 days, and I run a $10 ad or whatever, or $100 ad over one day, my ad is going to produce a lot more leads than yours is. And the reason is because I spent more dollars in a day. They're going to take that money and say, have a blast, kid, and so that's really, when you guys are talking about like what it is that you want to do, you don't need to spend, a ton of money over the course of a long time. Advertise for 3 days for $25, and you're going to see good results because you're doing $8.5 a day.
So Mike, we just have a couple minutes left here, so I definitely want to make sure if you could put your contact information in the chat there, please.
Okay.
For those who are just getting used to command, or this may seem kind of intimidating, let's just go there for a second. What would be your advice?
Man, hire a coach. That's the KW answer, right? I strongly, here's the thing. KWI has put out hours and hours and hours and hours of instructional videos that you can look at. The guys that I look to for answers are either Nick Baldwin, Jay Cermak, Xavier Muniz, the guys that you're going to see on stage talking about command. They've all got great information that you can look at. For me, if I'm completely honest, because those guys weren't putting videos out when I first started, I just clicked a button and to see what it did. And then I logged that in my brain. I said, okay, this button does that. And that's how I figured out how to do the things that I was doing. Because it's very, very user friendly. And I figure if you can operate a cell phone, you can operate command, no problem. But yeah, I mean, and if it feels overwhelming, there are, myself included, there are a number of people who do one-on-one training sessions that can walk you through each step of the process and make sure, get you to a place where you feel comfortable with it.
Awesome. And for those, what recommendation would you have, Mike, for those who are already in command now? And I can see several of our agents that are up who are very well versed in command. How can they take advantage of what you're doing right now? I mean, as a producing agent.
So what I'll say is this: is run an ad, get it to a place, run your first ad and say, all right, well, this is my baseline. Whether that ad produces at $10, $1, whatever per lead, that's your baseline. And then start tinkering. Change one thing about it and see what happens. Use what I've talked to you about, and hopefully your baseline will be low, because then you can start to a great point. You start at a great spot. But yeah, run that ad and use it there. From there, while that ad is running, Patrick, I'll email you a PDF file that I have that's Nick Baldwin's smart plan for Facebook leads, and you can put that out, and so put those smart plans into place. Okay, get people onto them. Start using them, because here's the thing: is just this smart plan, I think it's 14 touches, and then it automatically adds them to another smart plan that's, I don't know, I think 9 or 10 touches. And so it'll get you in contact with somebody. Like, you just let it do its work, and call every once in a while when you can. So run that ad, get the smart plans going. And then if there's any command tip that I could possibly give you that is more important than Facebook ads, use opportunities. Okay. And here's why. Opportunities, when you look at it, everybody says this is how you get paid. I agree. That's how you get paid, except for only 1 out of the 5 stages that are in opportunities have anything to do with compliance. The rest of it is for you to track your business. Okay. So so the way that I use that is I call, say Patrick's one of my Facebook leads, I'll call Patrick, we'll have a conversation. And as long as he doesn't tell me that he doesn't ever want to hear from me again, or tell me to kick rocks or whatever, I make an opportunity for him. for a couple of reasons. One, it allows me to know that I've already talked to them, but two, that gives you a list of a preset list of questions that you can ask them as you work through the required boxes on an opportunity input sheet, right? And so it gives you questions to ask. You can word them however it is you're going to word them. It tracks your numbers for you. And when you go out on that appointment, you've already got the opportunity set up for you to come back and upload your forms that you have in Colorado. Buyer rep agreements. I don't know if you guys have anything similar to an AREP, but things like that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, but those are the three big things. I mean, run an ad, get smart plans going, and then use opportunities like your life depends on it, because it's a sales pipeline at the end of the day.
Love that tip. That's awesome. Mike, thank you very, very much for being on the call today with us. We greatly appreciate it. And we may end up doing a part 2 here if you're open for it. So everybody, let's give Mike a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, I'll check in with you afterward, and we'll get that email out from Nick Baldwin too. So awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Great tips.
All right. Talk to you later, guys.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, awesome. So definitely take advantage of these types of opportunities, right? Reach out to Mike, ask him, what he's doing, how he's doing it. Take this and run with it, because our average price point is $500,000, right? Average commission is between $12,000 and $15,000. If you can get 100 leads at 50 cents a lead, at $50, what kind of opportunity could that create for you, your family, your business? We talked about this last week, and that was that we're in the second half, right? And some of the greatest sports comebacks, stories, celebrations, victories happen in the second half, right? So take advantage of what you have going on in front of you. Based on your numbers, you're creating your own market, and holy goodness, look at these successes we're seeing. So Doug, before you put those books away here, as we get ready to wrap up, what we talked about last week was each week we're doing a coaching corner here for just a moment. So Doug, we got 3 minutes to hit that and talk about Big Y and what we have going on. I just saw those books were out. What were those books about?
So quickly, during the last shift, which we're in a shift again, obviously, is what we're talking about, and how do you rebuild your business. I'd gotten out of real estate in 2002, thought I was done. Turned my book of business over to another guy. Life circumstances changed. 2006, I'm back October of 2006. And in 2007, the world turned upside down. So had to create a new Big Y and be launching forward out of that. Long story short, over the next 4 years, I got a 4-year college education. I started doubling my business every year. And that's what these books are about, how that process occurred during the shift to take a failing business with no database, because turn it over to somebody else, and how to rebuild and reboot and create your own market. So that's part of what we'll talk about a little bit at the seminar, which we got to change the date. We got to adjust the date now, but it'll be early August. But each of these 4, these are quarterly workbooks. Each of them at the beginning comes back to refine your Big Y. Get your Big Y really clear so it focuses you in and drives you to, so I just go, Gary says, a Big Y produces big goals produce a big drive produces big results.
Love it. With that, there's a mic drop right there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We're going to wrap up here. Have an incredible week and weekend. We'll see you next week. Let others know who weren't on this call, what were your ahas? Post them on our private Facebook page. What value did you gain out of today's meeting? Let's share that message with everyone all the way across, because that right there is what's going to create unity, and it's going to keep creating these incredible results that you're doing, where you're creating your own market no matter what happens out there. So congratulations, making an awesome week. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.